What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global back here with another video, and on my community tab, I asked you guys who are some guys or some subjects that you guys would like to make a video on, and a good amount of you said that I should talk about Chase Winovich. I think I've only actually talked about Chase Winovich once, and that was when I made the draft profile video on him. Now, if you want to know more about Chase Winovich, basically how he was in college, more of his stats, and even what his strengths and weaknesses are on top of multiple other things, then I will leave a link in the description below to the video I made on Chase Winovich and his draft profile. Also, guys, just like always, if there is a video about a specific player or a specific subject that you guys would like to see a video on, leave it in the comments below and I will definitely consider it, especially a time like this when there's literally no news going on. But today I want to talk about Chase Winovich and really how he's going to be utilized with the Patriots to give you guys more of a viewpoint and not just going into the season with a bunch of question marks around Winovich. I truly believe that Wino could hands down be the most valuable player from the Patriots draft if everything goes right. The former Michigan defensive end is a very unique player that could bring a lot of personality and great work ethic in the New England environment. And the thing is, too, is that right now the Patriots really need a guy with great personality. Now, I'm not talking about more of a leadership type of personality, such as someone like Julian Edelman, Tom Brady, Matthew Slater, Devin McCourty, just some guys I'm naming off the top of my head. But that funny guy, the guy with the great personality that gets everybody's mind off of the work, also known as the Rob Gronkowski type player. And this is something Edelman talked about before, is that as the season goes on, everybody's tired, everybody's getting beat up from how long the season and the off-season has been and the off-season workouts, and Gronk was always that guy to be giving you that laugh, to really lift up your spirits when you just want to quit. And honestly, there is nobody else really in the Patriots locker room that did that except Rob Gronkowski. And I truly believe that Winovich can come in and take that role, because if you've watched any interview with Chase Winovich, such as on Good Morning Football, I've watched a couple, but he's had multiple interviews, and you can tell that this guy has a personality that can fit the need of that Rob Gronkowski personality. He has had tremendous work ethic. I mean, he proved that when he was in college, but he has also proved that in OTAs and minicamp. Multiple reports coming out saying that he gives 100% on every single down he's playing. It doesn't matter if it's just stretching or if it's a drill. He gives his 100% every time, and his energy seems to never fall down. Winovich is also the perfect defensive end for the Patriots because he's playing with a chip on his shoulder, and it seems every guy that comes in with a chip on their shoulder seems to just work out perfectly for New England, becomes a fan favorite, and ends up becoming a star within a couple years. Winovich is 6'3", 255 pounds, that has an extraordinary high motor. Now, when you look on paper, he did not have the most phenomenal numbers, and that is probably why he was getting pushed down when it came to draft day, as he recorded 59 tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss, and 5 sacks in his senior season. Winovich is a guy that has it pretty much put together, both mentally and physically, but there is still a couple things that he has yet to develop. He is still having those raw moments. But he's a player that has the intangibles to thrive in the NFL, and good enough for him, he's paired up with Bill Belichick and the Patriots, who get the most out of you. Michigan's defensive end coordinator, Don Brown, actually came out in an interview saying that he believes that Winovich will fit in perfectly into the Bill Belichick type of system. I'm going to read you what he said in just a second, but it really just goes back to the Rob Gronkowski type of vibes that I'm giving off. And although Bill Belichick did have his tendencies with Gronk, he definitely did love the big guy. So he said he's a trip, no question, but he's a very serious football player. He's one of those guys who loves the game, plays the game right all the time. You never have to worry about his effort. He's going to give you everything he's got. I think he's going into Coach Belichick's system. This is probably a match made in heaven for him. So really now comes the point where we have to really discover what Bill Belichick is going to do with Chase Winovich. And truly what I believe Bill Belichick is going to do is he's going to use him as a Trey Flowers type of guy. But I do believe we will see Chase Winovich drop back more than we ever saw someone do like Trey Flowers. Winovich obviously will be coming in and playing defensive end. He will set the edge on most occasions. In the beginning, I definitely think he will get the rotation. I don't think he right away becomes his primary starter unless he just has a bomb training camp and a bomb preseason. But for the most part, I do believe that he will be in the rotation until he starts to prove himself and we see how he does throughout the season. If he's killing it, then obviously he is getting more snap time, but if he's having some issues, then he's only going to get it on certain packages, especially if he has issues, say, defending the run or rushing the passer. Now, I don't believe that's going to happen, but at the same time, the transition from college to NFL is not predictable. I also think that there could be times that we see him line up as a linebacker depending on the certain packages that the Patriots might be trying to play, possibly more of those blitz type packages, but also say if our linebacker core is just brutally getting injured and is not dealing with health right, then he is someone who you can line up there. Now, obviously that's not primarily what you want, but he has the ability to be able to do so. He did play some outside linebacker in college when asked. I also expect Bill Belichick to use him as more of that quarterback spy type role. As we all know, the Patriots have a tough time dealing with quarterbacks that scramble. It's been an issue for them for years. It just never seems to work out for them. On the rare occasion it does, but more often than not, they have an issue with it. So there's a couple of quarterbacks that catch my eye when I'm talking about possibly placing a quarterback spy on them. And those quarterbacks are such as Lamar Jackson when the Patriots play the Ravens, but also when they play the Bills and they deal with quarterback Josh Allen, and also even the Jets with Sam Darnold. Now, of course, you can make that argument with really any of the other quarterbacks that the Patriots are playing, but obviously the Ravens game sticks out as Lamar Jackson is more of a running back and never actually throws the ball. And then the Jets and the Bills, those two quarterbacks, obviously, they primarily do run a lot, and the Patriots play them both twice a year. I also want to address a comment I got before that has a lot to do with Chase Winovich, and that is, do I think that he could potentially play tight end if the Patriots need it? And to that I have to say, no, I don't think he plays tight end. I think the Patriots keep him on defense now. Say that pretty much all of the tight ends are injured and they need someone to fill the spot. Then maybe they put in Winovich, but that is a very big if. For those of you who don't know, Chase Winovich actually has tight end in his background. He has the hands and he can catch. This offseason, for getting ready for the combine, he actually trained a lot in the tight end type of areas. But that can also be very good for Winovich as he knows his way around an offense and can use that to his strategy when it comes to playing defense. I definitely think that we will get a more vivid answer on what his role will be when we actually see how he's performing in training camp, but also when he actually plays a game in the NFL. Because yes, in college he was able to both blitz and he was also able to stop the run. But say he comes into the NFL and he's not able to rush the passer but is elite at stopping the run, then he'll just be used for those run-stopping packages. Say it's the other way around and he can't stop the run but he can get to the quarterback, then he'll be more put on those pass plays. But if everything worked out as it should and he is still able to do both, then you will see Chase Winovich on a very substantial amount of defensive snaps. The ceiling is insanely high for Chase Winovich. And Bill Belichick and the coaching staff love the guys that can do it all. It doesn't matter what your position is. It doesn't matter what positions you're able to play. The more you can do, it just seems to be the better. And it's exactly what they're getting with Chase Winovich. You're getting a guy who can play both offense and defense. He also gives back to his community, which fits him even more into the New England system. He worked closely with the Chad Tough Foundation and had a goal to raise $15,000. He met the goal and eventually raised more than $200,000. He wants to make an impact on the community, and the NFL is a perfect platform for him to do that. With the combination of Chase Winovich's unique motor, his once-in-a-lifetime type of personality, and the chip on his shoulder, I believe that with some time, Chase Winovich will become one of the best in the league and will be elite by the end of his first season. But that is it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on Chase Winovich, and what do you think Bill Belichick will do with him? If I didn't already name it, leave it in the comments below. And if there's anything else you want to say, whether that's your opinion or some questions you have for me, again, leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to it. But that is it for today's video. Please make sure you guys like this video. It helps so much. And please make sure you subscribe if you have not already. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody you know, your friends, your sisters, your brothers, your dogs. And let's continue to grow the Patriots global family. But other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.